Hello and welcome to part 2 of lesson number 9 in Unit 2B, Quadratic Functions, Forms and Transformations in our grade 11 University College math class. This is converting from factored or vertex form to standard form. So we started with a review of completing the square, which takes us from standard form to vertex form. The real heart of this lesson is how do we convert back from vertex form or from vertex or factored form to standard form. Admittedly, standard form is not my favorite form of the quadratic, but there are certain important pieces of information that we can glean from it, so sometimes we need to be able to convert back. How do we do that? We do it by expanding and gathering like terms. At the end, when you expand out either a quadratic in vertex form or factored form, you end up with standard form. No brackets, that's how you tell. So in the first part of this lesson, we did vertex form to standard form, and now we're going to do from factored form over to standard form. It's the same idea. Let's just jump right in. So this is factored form. We are going to move to standard form. So to do that, we are going to just expand this out. We have x times x. That gives us x squared. We have x times 4 plus 4x minus 5x and minus 20. We gather together our like terms. It's our x terms here. So we have minus 1x and then minus 20. So what do we know about this parabola? We know that we have a y-intercept at 0, negative 20. We know the direction of opening is going to be up based on a positive a value, hidden right there, invisible, but a 1. And we also know that our plot pattern will be 1, 4, 9, amplified by a. Now a happens to be 1, which means that our plot pattern will just be out 1, up 1, out 2, up 4, and out 3, up 9. Pretty straightforward stuff. Let's do one more, slightly more complicated example. As with the example above, now we have a coefficient out front of 2. I always recommend that we work through the two binomials being expanded first, so that we minimize our opportunity to make mistakes, I guess. So let's start with that, y equals 2, and now we're going to expand out this bracket, so x squared minus 3x plus x and minus 3. Let's gather together our like terms. Those are the x terms again. We have x squared minus 2x minus 3, and now we're going to distribute the 2 into all 3 of the terms in that resulting trinomial. That gives us a 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. So what do we know? We know that our y-intercept is going to be 0, negative 6. We know that our parabola opens up since we have a positive a value, and we know that our plot pattern of 1, 4, 9 will be amplified by our a value, which is 2. Which means that instead of going out 1, up 1, we go out 1, up 2, out 2, up 8, and out 3, up 18. And that is how you go from either factored form or from the part one of this video, vertex form, back to standard form. So we have a bit of a graphic here. Let's have a gander. This is how you work back and forth from one form to another, a little sort of information pictograph here, I guess, to give you some information. So let's start to fill in some of these movements that we're looking for. Now the lesson that we just did today, this was getting from factored or vertex form back to standard form. So we're just going to call that expand and simplify. And that's what we're going to be doing in order to get from factored form down to standard form. And the same thing from vertex form. We are going to expand and simplify. That's how we get from standard or vertex form back or from factored form or vertex form down to standard form. From the last lesson, how do we go from standard form to vertex form? That was called completing the square. Complete of the square. And then the last one is how do we get from standard form to factored form? Now we haven't officially gone over this, but what we did do is spend a lot of time in Unit 0 doing the thing that's going to allow us to go from standard form to factored form, and that's going to be, as you can imagine, factoring. So the goal is to use this as a means to help you figure out how to get from one form to another. Now, typically in class, somebody asks, can we not get from factored form directly over to Vertex form? The answer is yes, you can do it, but taking a pit stop in standard form is the easiest way to do it. So we're not going to really spend any time going over the method for going from factored form to vertex form, and it's not a big secret or anything like that. Basically, all we would be doing is finding the h value by taking r plus s and dividing it by 2, subbing that back into the equation, and then getting the y component of the vertex. So it's not that it's a complicated process, it's just that it doesn't lend itself nicely to a little one-word summary like we did with all the other ones. So there is a way. I would certainly recommend that if you're in factored form and need to get over to vertex form, you expand out factored form into standard form and then either complete the square or use the cheat if you would like. So that is the end of this lesson. We have some homework. It's a worksheet that basically is moving from one form to another. So I give you one form. Here's standard form. I recognize it because it has no brackets. How do I get to vertex form? I complete the square. How do I get to factored form? I'm going to factor. So there it is. That is lesson 9. Good luck with the homework. As always, any troubles you hit, you can reach out to me via email, in person, in our online video chat that we have every day. Whatever way you have to, get a hold of me and we'll get you all sorted out with this homework. So good luck with that, and we'll see you in lesson number 10.